All right, YouTube, we're going to jump into our United States news. Well, why don't I change to my... There we go. Because I'm proud to be an American. Got to switch over to this. But I wanted to start with a little bit of just funny news. I just thought this was just amazing. I don't know if this is in the U.S. or Canada or wherever. But look at this, man. This guy got a lunker. Caught himself a great white shark.
I wasn't fishing not even 5 minutes for mackerel. And my reel starts clicking, and in my mind I'm thinking of that scene from Jaws, but I had no idea it was a shark ever while I was out there. I seen it going directly under the kayak, and it was like, holy cow, this thing is massive. This is all going through my mind as I'm playing it, and then it clears the water and scared the crap right out of me. The shark was moving the kayak over to the right. Jesus. It had no problem at all, and I was anchored.
Yeah, cut that line, dude.
Even if I wasn't anchored, it would have dragged me forever. My goodness, I would have been over in New Brunswick, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this guy's Canadian.
I did not want to harm this animal. This was by far probably the biggest adrenaline rush of my life. Absolutely.
Oh, Jesus.
Scary stuff indeed. And that adrenaline, his wife said, lasted hours after he got home.
Yeah, I bet it did. I bet that adrenaline lasted all night, baby. By the way, I got a comment on this. I'm sorry, but this is a Canadian broadcaster. She's well known. People love her. Unfortunately, she was given the most unfortunate name in the English language. Her name is Anita Bath. I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad for her. How did this woman handle going to American schools? That's probably why she's such a strong woman. Her poor name is Anita Bath. No, but she's great. She's absolutely great. Shame about the name. Yeah, spelled like that or something like that. All right, so there's a little bit of a scandal. It's hit the mainstream a little bit, but it's not really going to hit the mainstream. It's not going to stay in the mainstream because it basically points out the mega problem with private healthcare systems, with what happens when there just isn't a social safety net to help our weakest and most vulnerable. And before the bad actors chime in and say people deserve to be treated like this, I would like to remind those people that a society is judged based off of how it treats its weakest, right? Its most mentally ill, its most frail, its most vulnerable, right? Women, children, elderly, those with diseases and problems. A society's greatness is measured by its ability to take care of some of its weakest population, not in how strong the warriors that come out of the country. That is not how people judge societies in terms of, do we emulate the society? Do we consider this society great? So I just like to point that out, that being merciful is actually a good thing. Makes your society look good, right? If you don't even give a shit about people, but you just care about the benefits, it actually benefits you geopolitically if your society is strong enough to take care of some of its weakest, right? Makes you a very valuable commodity in the geopolitical world. So I'm sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but this is pertaining to out in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Hospitals have started dumping their patients on the street, on the sidewalk, patients that cannot pay for their treatment. They're unresponsive in some cases, they're nonverbal in some cases. They've, on top of having a physical issue, they're also having a severe mental issue. Hospitals don't have the money. They're running, they're a private institution in some cases. So they're not going to dip into their bottom line. They're not equipped to deal with the problems that these people have, and there's no place to transfer them to. There's no place to helicopter them to. No one wants them. No money. Nobody cares. Can't call anybody to pick them up. Government. There's no government safety net for these people, so they get dumped on the street. And you're gonna see some very depressing footage if you're still watching. You're gonna see some very, very sad footage of people that the footage speaks for itself.
Disturbing scenes on our streets, triggering calls to the WAVE troubleshooters alleging patient dumping by local hospitals. 2 different $2 million plus patient dumping jury verdicts recently in Kentucky caught our eye. But what really got our attention was where calls to our newsroom led us when we began following up on the complaints. This story begins December 1st at 5 p.m. with a phone call to our newsroom from a horrified University Hospital employee claiming security had just wheeled a woman all the way out to the corner of Hancock and Ali, just off hospital property, dumped the elderly woman out of the wheelchair on the sidewalk, and left. Minutes later, we shot video of her, still in a soiled hospital gown and slippers, breathing hard under a blanket placed over her in 36-degree weather, her stuff in a bag next to her. The employee claimed she sees this a lot. So I started watching, and on December 16th at 7 p.m., 35 degrees outside, I record 3 security guards surrounding an elderly woman with a walker, slowly escorting her out of the emergency room. She can't move fast. It takes several minutes to make it all the way to the same corner of Hancock and Ali. After they have her across the street, off the hospital property, the security guards turn around and go back. When they clear, I catch up to her, and she says she can't breathe.
They told me that I couldn't stay on the premises. Amen.
Were you in there as a patient?
Well, I needed to be a patient because I'm sick.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, and to the people that are saying, I need to turn this volume down a bit. It looks like to the people that are saying, oh well, she's just there to waste resources. She's just there to waste time. She still needs a place to go. Okay, maybe not the emergency room. Maybe the emergency room though. Maybe she's faking it. Maybe she isn't. But we can't have a system that we're just like, oh, you're faking it, kick them out. We can't have that.
I've got COPD. I got diabetes.
So they wouldn't even treat you?
The doctor talked to me for 1 minute.
And they told you what?
That I had to leave.
What reason did he give you?
He didn't give me a reason.
She tells me she's homeless.
I've got to go because I'm hurting.
That's the reason. She's probably in there quite a bit, probably hangs around, right? That doesn't matter. She needs a place to go. She needs help. Okay? Maybe her medical issue isn't an emergency. Do we're okay with a society that just kicks people out on the street, just lets them die there, right? Just like Soylent Green, just have a truck come by and scoop up the corpses, right? I mean, honestly, right? Do we care or not about human beings?
I was in a car crash and it completely shattered my hip and pelvis. Right here, I got like 30-something screwed.
Matthew Hauber and his mother claim a similar story. They met us in front of Wayside Mission in the spot where they say he was dumped in October.
Anywhere. And they said, well, we can't find a rehab right now.
Linda Hauber said when Norton Hospital told her they had a room lined up for Matthew at Wayside, she checked it out.
I called Wayside Christian Mission and just to confirm, and they said no. They said, we can't do that. We can't. They have beds and they help them find jobs and stuff, but we don't take medically needy people. We don't do that. And
then she says she had a conference call with the hospital staff.
the social worker said, we're going to take him to a shelter. And I said, which one? And they said Wayside Christian Mission. And I said, well, I know that's not true because I called them and they don't take them. And then the lady said, the social worker said, well, that's history. Let's think of something else.
Hauber says the next day, her son was unloaded from a transport vehicle on the curb in the rain on Jackson Street in front of Wayside.
I thought they've dumped my garbage. I have to put out to the curb. That's how they dumped my son, like garbage.
Linda Hauber said she was in no shape to care for him at home, and she died after this interview.
They put all their stuff on the sidewalk over there, or they dump them off over here on the sidewalk and get back in that vehicle and get out here just as fast as they can.
Wayside staffer Perry
My
Lane
God.
helped Matthew out of the rain and says he witnesses the same kind of thing dozens of times per year from hospitals as far away as Eastern Kentucky. He says they're often lied to about the medical treatment they'll receive at the shelter.
What's the worst physical shape you've seen somebody in who was dumped? This guy here was pretty bad.
Paralyzed. People that can't walk, that are totally relied on a wheelchair. Take them out, put them in the wheelchair, throw all their stuff on the and take off.
Wayside's Chief Operating Officer Nina Mosley tells me it's not
Because these are private, because conservatives, the people that you support and vote for, when they get into power, they insist on implementing privatized healthcare systems. And if you don't have insurance, you don't have money, they're incentivized to no longer care for you. Panda Man.
uncommon. She says they're not trained medically, and sometimes they take patients right back to the hospitals.
How can you dump people? These are human beings.
So I just answered your question. I just gave you an answer, and you say no. I'm so utterly tired of you. You are an exhausting individual. Let's go ahead and put. You are an exhausting individual. Why do my conservative right-wing policies create inhumane situations? Give them the reason. No. I'm so utterly tired of conservatives.
How can you just dump them and leave them?
Because there's no money. There's no money in keeping them.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It's unhuman, man.
We detailed these incidents with dates and times to both Norton and University hospitals. Norton Healthcare Senior Vice President Renee Murphy responded in an email that says, in order to safeguard the privacy of patients and in compliance with HIPAA, we are not permitted to discuss specifics regarding a patient's case. There are several details to this case that may not have been communicated to you by the family. As Mr. Hauber has not signed a HIPAA release of information form, we will not be able to share those details with you. University Hospital Public Relations Director David MacArthur replied, they appear to be working on behalf of U of L Hospital. Unfortunately, the images that were provided by WAVE do not reveal enough information to track down additional details or identify whether the individuals on either day sought care from any of our team. What is heartbreaking for U of L Health staff is that we often encounter situations where patients need assistance beyond medical care. As the community's safety net hospital, the challenges are particularly even more acute when providing health care to the unhoused population of Metro Louisville. Community resources are limited, and even when they are available, many individuals that may benefit from those resources still refuse assistance. The Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, known as EMTALA, was passed in 1986 as a federal anti-dumping law. It mandates patients who present to a hospital emergency department must undergo an appropriate medical screening examination by a physician to determine whether they have an emergency medical condition. If they do, they must be stabilized and treated, and an appropriate transfer may take place to another facility with adequate capabilities.
Juries take the hospital's obligations to treat emergency patients very, very seriously.
Attorney Hans Poppe knows that firsthand. He won a $2.3 million patient dumping verdict, most of that in punitive damages, after his client, who was coming to a Lexington hospital by ambulance with a cardiac emergency, was turned away and directed to another hospital.
Juries don't like to punish hospitals.
There aren't many verdicts in Kentucky history favoring plaintiffs in alleged patient dumping cases, but this one is interesting. A $1.5 million verdict awarded in Fayette County to a difficult patient with a history of ER visits, dumped by a hospital, rolled outside in a wheelchair with taxi fare, and hours later, the man was dead of an untreated ulcer.
So look, there are difficult patients. Every time I go to the doctor, I actually see these individuals, right? And there'll be signs on the walls that says, do not be violent towards people. But these people are rude and violent, and they're there all the time. There needs to be places for them to go. Longer term care. Okay, it costs money. And the benefits are really, what do you get for it? You get a more humane society, but you don't necessarily get a person that goes back to the workforce, right? You don't get a productive person, right? So why do it? Why do I even care, man? There's no return. That's why we don't see it happen. That's why capitalists are perfectly okay to let people rot in the street. There's no profit. There's no profit in being humane.
After being reversed on appeal, another jury socked the hospital for $1.45 million.
And these lawsuits, it's not fixing anything.
A jury hears a case and they believe that there has been an EMTALA violation where
we need a complete rework
or abandoned by the hospital. They really get upset.
Dude, like, I'm worthless, man. We're throwaway. We're garbage,
Now, I was contacted this week by a police officer who worked off-duty at University Hospital who says she emailed U of L Health CEO Tom Miller on March 1st about this issue and what she was witnessing, and she says she was then informed she would no longer be working there. I asked U of L about that. They say the officer was concerned about the same things they are, and they're collaborating to increase community resources for the at-risk populations. As for being let go after her email, U of L would only say that she was employed by a third-party security service.
They're corporate. They're uncaring. Okay. The most important thing is the bottom line. They will use every trick in the book. Okay. And until we completely change the healthcare paradigm, we're not going to see resolution. We're not going to see this problem get any better. That's just a fact. We need, and to the people that are bitching and moaning about employees of the insurance industry losing their jobs, if we ever pass a single payer healthcare bill and make their industry redundant, it's very, very easy to fund a retraining program, right, or a subsidy program for people that used to be in the insurance industry, in the medical insurance industry, to give them a time to transition, right? These are solvable problems. So what I'm trying to say is, don't listen to the nihilists, basically the cynicists, right? That are insisting that this is the only way to do things. We've done it for so long. The system's too entrenched. We can't change it. And Zeoduke makes a great point. These insurance professionals could very easily transition into a socialized healthcare program, right? Could be offered jobs and find positions within this new paradigm. That's a great example. But, some people, maybe the money's better in a different industry, right? Car insurance, maybe there's better money in the car insurance industry, right? So people need options, and these things can be legislated, okay? You can demand them. You can demand them from your politicians. You don't have to throw your hands up and just walk away from the table and just let the rich people have the conversations. But yeah, Nidnak, demand. Yeah, we can actually demand these things from our leaders. It is possible. Had to show this. What's wrong with the rich? A person asking that question, but it's a person asking that question is not a very bright person, a bad actor. Unless you are a multimillionaire or a billionaire, you are not allowed to ask that question. In some kind of earnest sense, right? Okay. We're gonna go back to the stream. We're not having a conversation. Of course, I'm not a communist. does it even matter that you would conflate the definition of communism with socialism? And a democratic socialist is a communist all the same as a neoliberal, right? Or any kind of flavor of liberal. They're all communists, right? So what's the point? What's the point? Right? What's the point of having a debate with a person like you? I'll give you one more opportunity. What is the point of having a debate with you? What's wrong with being rich if you got off your ass and earned it? Earned it. Okay, thank you so much for wasting our time. I'm not even going to bother with the game. I'm just going to go straight to dumbass.
You dumbass. You're a dumbass.
Just a straight up dumbass. Just a very dumb person. Learned it. Earned it. Earned it. Just going to go ahead and there we go. Okay. Wanted to get back to this. I just wanted to show this. It's really, I guess I'm just so nostalgic for 2016. I'm so nostalgic for an idea. Respond to what? Why poor people should continue to give multi-billionaires a break? It's much too soon for Panda Man to be back. Looks like Panda Man has multiple accounts. Oh, that's adorable. Bye-bye. So why I'm honestly not going to justify this with an answer why we need to tax the rich. If you are if you are in 2023 looking at the current situation of the world and you're still defending the oligarchies, the millionaires and billionaires that are exploiting us and taking advantage of us every single day. I mean, the grocery store prices, energy inflation, gas is absolutely ridiculous right now, right? All these different examples of how the rich are screwing us over, wages staying as low as possible, and then their only solution to inflation is to lower wages. We can't go after the executive bonuses. If you are in 2023 running around the internet still asking the question why we need to tax the rich, you are instantly, in my view, a bad actor who does not deserve a debate, because there's no debate to be had. We need to tax the rich. We need to go after the oligarchy. They're destroying our country. They're destroying the middle class. There's no question. There's no question. Yeah, Zio Duke, he's not a very smart person. Okay? So I'm not going to justify these bad actor questions with an answer. We need to tax the rich for our very survival. Well, Goose, we have what we have now, which is we tax the poor and middle class. Why do you think groceries are going up? What? Because your wages went up? That's why bread is more expensive. That's why eggs are more expensive. That's why gas is more expensive. Because your boss gave you a $1 raise when he was legally obliged to. Pull your head out of your ass, man. Come on. Anyway, we got a Bernie classic. This another one. Really, I love it, and I wish Bernie was relevant.
Every year, with seemingly little regard for the strategic picture facing our country, this body, House and the Senate, vote to increase the military budget. Just happens.
Yeah, tax champagne and
caviar. We don't worry about
caviar.
people sleeping out on the street. We don't worry about people who don't have any health care. Don't worry about people who can't afford prescriptions. Every year, military budget, more money. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan are over, and tens of thousands of American troops have returned home.
The rich have to buy food? I mean, fuck off, man.
We have year
You're
after
not
year
even
given
funny.
the Pentagon more money
You're
than
not
they
even
have
funny, dude.
Requested.
Who are you trying to make
Requiring
laugh?
to
I
submit
ain't laughing,
quote-unquote
man.
wish lists
You're not funny.
of items to Congress. In other words, tell us what more you need. the Pentagon is routinely given so much taxpayer money that it literally doesn't know what to do with all the money Congress has thrown at them. Every year, despite partisan,
premium gas, premium gas went up.
Partisan fights
luxury
on
vehicles,
all manners of things, you name it. Big fights going on. Congress somehow comes together very quietly, little debate.
Yeah, reappropriates
for
military
the one
funds
thing that they agree on, and that is more and more money for the Pentagon.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right now, despite all of the enormous needs facing working families in this country, over half of the federal discretionary budget goes to the military. Got it? Over half of the federal discretionary budget goes to the military. Madam President, I support.
Is anything going down? What do you mean? It's always going down. It's going down. I need a button that does that.
But I will oppose this.
I need a "it's going down" button.
Legislation, this defense authorization
You got
bill,
served
for 4 major reasons. First,
I need to exercise because of
more
this.
military
Okay.
spending right now.
Don't let your body
is
turn into
unnecessary.
this.
The United States remains the world's dominant military power and is in no danger of losing that position.
True.
Alone, we account for roughly 40% of global military spending.
I mean, even Davey, and I'm sorry, Davey, if you're listening, I don't mean to speak from you, but I feel very confident saying this, that even Davey, who is a conservative, right, but, you know, has his head screwed on straight and is an honest actor. I mean, even he would admit, you know, that the military hasn't been audited. None of this shit's been audited. He did mention, though, that the Navy, I think he was saying the Navy did a, like, airtight, you know, did a big audit. Like, he was very proud of the audit that he did, that he was part of. Like, what I'm trying to say is that most conservatives, you know, even you could probably even, you know, get this opinion out of like extreme MAGA guys are like, yeah, you know, I don't want to spend $500 on a hammer, etc. Right? Like some of the waste is completely egregious, and it's actually something you can reach across the aisle. It was one of those few things that Ron Paul saw some traction on the left with, right?
This comes despite the end of the war in Afghanistan.
Goose, Bernie is still in government. He's still an elected politician. So you're so myopic. You're like a simpleton, right? Why are you here?
Afghanistan, and despite the fact that the United States now spends more on the military than the next 10 countries combined, most of whom are our allies.
And look, and you can reduce that. You can reduce that number without reducing the amount of damage your military can do. I mean, imagine it's very possible that more than a quarter of that, maybe even more, you know, 50% or more, who knows how much of that budget is just waste, is just money we don't need to spend. Why, you know, it's not making us safer to waste money on things that's not making us any safer, right? So it really, there's no conservative, like, pro-military, there's no pro-military argument to just let your military industrial complex waste trillions of dollars.
And more than the next 10 countries combined, most of whom are our allies. Last year, we spent more than 3 times what China is spending on the military and more than 10 times what Russia spent.
Goose, you're not very good at what you're doing.
This year's defense authorization
kind of right-wing gadfly
would merely match the Pentagon's record-breaking request.
Keep practicing.
In most recent years, Congress has seen fit to give the Department of Defense more money than it even asked for. Imagine that. According to the Government Accountability Office.
Isn't that great? Healthcare, you know, comes up. Oh, you know, how can we afford it? Can we afford it? How can we afford this? Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for that? Right? Education comes up. Oh, who's going to pay for this one? We better means test the shit out of this one. This needs to be means test up and down. We don't have any money for this. military industrial complex asks for its yearly injection of a fortune's worth, multiple fortunes worth of funds. But do you need anything extra? Do you need anything more? We'll get, we decided to throw an extra couple billion on there just in case, just in case. It is a very damning thing that we see yearly, right? Right wing, left wing, neoliberal. Military industrial complex needs it. Checking that box.
Over an 11-year period,
I've never heard that name before.
the Pentagon
Patrick David
returned an astonishing
never heard that name.
$128 billion in excess
knick-knack,
funds to the Treasury.
They're very smart.
In other words, we gave them so much money, they couldn't even spend it, and they have to return some of that.
Amazing. Did you hear that? They literally gave them more money that they couldn't spend it. And I guess they couldn't fit it in a bank or something, and they had to just literally return money.
In excess funds to the Treasury. In other words, we gave them so much money, they couldn't even spend it, and they have to return some of that.
Wow.
So that's reason number one why I oppose this legislation. Number
That's
two,
outrageous.
the Pentagon cannot keep track of the dollars it already has, leading to massive waste, fraud, and abuse in the sprawling military-industrial complex.
Oh, he said the word.
The Pentagon accounts for about 2/3 of all federal contracting activity, obligating more money every year than all civilian federal agencies combined. Yet the Department of Defense remains the only major federal agency that cannot pass an independent audit. More than 30 years.
I think we came to an agreement on stream for I think it was $5 billion. That's what we all agreed on. So Goose, are you concerned about the billionaires that might be restricted to only $5 billion fortunes? And then the rest of that money is put back into the system that they're extracting from? Do people have a right to hoard billions of dollars in offshore bank accounts, right? That's just their right to hoard wealth, right? Why? How does that benefit you? What do you make? $60,000 a year? $70,000, $80,000 if you're lucky. Maybe you're a programmer who has a lot of time on his hands. You're cracking that $100K a year. You think you're going to touch $1 billion, buddy? You think you're going to touch $1 million? Right? And you're concerned if we, I don't know, $5 billion? Oh, how can a person live off that? Yeah. So no, yeah. Yeah, we have talked about that on stream. I think we came to $5 billion. It's like, okay, if you can't live lavishly with $5 billion a year, right? $5 billion a year. And I was saying a caveat that you should be allowed to earn as much as possible. Over $5 billion, you should be allowed to go nuts, right? Go totally bananas, but you have to spend it. Right? You can only hoard $5 billion. You can earn $20 billion, $40 billion, $50 billion a year, right? Like Tim Cook at Apple or Jeff Bezos. The only stipulation is you have to spend it. Right? So buy 100 mansions. That's great. Someone's going to make a lot of money buying, selling, and building mansions. Okay, someone's making some money. But put that money back into the system. Right? Well, no, there's like new billionaires every week, Goose. There's new billionaires every week. Or every month or something, whatever the stat is. But we got way too many new billionaires, okay? So that's the only rule. Make as much money as you want, homie. It's just you can only hoard $5 billion. You got to spend the rest. And if you don't spend the rest, then we taking it. Because we're going to spend it. We're going to buy a school. We're going to buy a library. Oh, that's not fun. That's not Gucci. That's not 100 sports cars. Well, you buy 100 sports cars then, Slick. Do something with the money, because if you just sit on it and you're like, my number's bigger, I have the most. Ooh, no, you're mentally ill. You're mentally ill. Nobody should be allowed to hoard hundreds of billions of dollars in wealth and just sit on it. Apple, Goose, you're talking about it's not liquid. It's not liquid. Apple Corporation has hundreds of billions of dollars in liquid assets sitting in a bank. It's all stocks. It's all shares and stocks. No, it isn't. And who are you defending? Who are you? Are you a billionaire? You're carrying all this water and licking all these boots. You're not making anything off this fucking system. This system isn't helping you. What are you even defending, man? But you're wrong. You're wrong, and I don't understand the logic why a 100K or less loser like the rest of us would be wasting his time, right, defending billionaires that are doing nothing but making your life more miserable. There's no sense in letting people hoard billions of dollars in a bank. And no, it's not all stocks. Okay? We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars in liquid assets that they're not spending, that they're not using. Stop wasting my time, man.
After Congress...
Or 100K a year, Kem Goblin. Thank you, 100K a year. But honestly, we're all a bunch of wage slaves. Billionaires aren't wasting their time on Twitch, commenting on poor people's fucking channels on Twitch. Billionaires aren't wasting their time commenting on a bunch of poor people's fucking shit on Twitch, having political arguments with poor people on Twitch. You think billionaires are doing that? No, Goose. You're a poor son of a bitch just like the rest of us. And here you are sucking the motherfucking ball sack of Jeff fucking Bezos over here. He's refusing to spend money that could circulate an economy that could make your life better. And you're all like, yeah, I like living the life of a serf. Yeah, because I'm used to it. I got Stockholm syndrome on my suffering. I'm kind of used to my suffering. And I think this is the way it should be forever. You're a jackass. You're a motherfucking dude. You're literally like you're a glutton for punishment, right? You're a masochist. Okay? These people, the billionaires you're defending, don't fucking care. Of course I'm poor. We're all poor. We're all poor because of the oligarchy that you support, man. You think it's an accident? I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. You're not getting paid what you're worth. There's a reason. It's because of the rich people you're defending, man. Pull your head out of your ass and start talking about taxing these people, forcing them to spend their hoarded wealth. Put that shit back in the economy that could then make our lives better, jackass. Hey, yeah, that's right, boy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we keep it real over here. Yeah, that's right, boy.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Shut the fuck up with your questions, Goose. I've already given you a goddamn lesson, and now this is not the Goose show. I'm moving on with my life, and you're getting a big timeout. And you see what I mean? Why do we waste time talking to conservatives? Why do we? Because look at this. It does not matter. It does not matter. I could back up every single fucking thing I just said with sources and links. Goose here could waste our time for hours. Why do we waste our time with people that refuse to listen, that refuse to change, that refuse to listen to anything else besides their own narrative and dogma? Right? So here we go. I have to do it because I need to move on. Look what he's doing in the chat, folks. I have to move on with my life. I have to move on with my life. I'm not answering your bad actor questions. I gave you what the whole situation is, man. I gave you what the situation is, and you la 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 la. I know what the conservative argument for not taxing people is. It's shit. It doesn't go anywhere. And my God, we're living it. We're living in the society that you agree with. That this is a good thing. Does it feel good? Does the current society, the current paradigm that you support, feel good for you as a lower middle class person who has the time to have political debates with people? Right? That means you're somewhat comfortable. Right? You feeling great right now in the current paradigm that you're backing up and supporting with all your fucking might? It's pathetic. People with Stockholm syndrome talking about, oh, I like the color of the chains around my neck. I think they're a nice shade of fucking metal. Yeah, I like being enslaved by the rich. I think it's okay that the rich hoard wealth. Get out of here with this. Tax the rich 2023, motherfucker.
Required them to do so. So we're
tired of the gaslighting.
Hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into the Pentagon. 30 years ago, Congress said we want an audit. We want to know what's going on. A reasonable request. It's only been 30 years. We still have not gotten
55 seconds.
An independent audit. Madam President, last year, the Department of Defense was unable to account for over half of its assets, which are in excess of $3 trillion.
Neoliberals are conservative.
Or roughly 78% of what the entire federal government owns. The Government Accountability Office, the GAO, reports that the Department of Defense still cannot accurately track its finances or capture and post transactions to the current accounts. Much of this additional military spending will go to line the pockets of hugely profitable defense contractors. It is corporate welfare by a different name.
It really is.
Almost half of the Pentagon budget goes to private contractors.
No, and let me tell you, man, it's like this isn't just weapons that are making America safe, okay? This is bloat going into the pocket of dishonest people who are overcharging our government, taking money directly out of your fucking pocket and putting it into theirs. Criminals. Just because they're making a missile or some fucking bullshit for Uncle Sam doesn't make their actions any less criminal. And they should be held accountable. And you know what would hold them accountable? A motherfucking audit. Bring it. I will waste you.
Some of whom are exploiting their monopoly positions and the trust granted them by the United States to line their pockets. Repeated investigations by the DoD Inspector General, the GAO, and CBS News have uncovered numerous instances of contractors massively overcharging the Department of Defense, helping boost these companies' profits to nearly 40%. Profit margins to nearly 40%, and sometimes as high as over 4,000%, while costing U.S. taxpayers hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. TransDigm, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon are among the offenders, dramatically overcharging taxpayers while reaping enormous profits, seeing their stock prices soar, and handing out massive executive compensation packages. Just one example. Lockheed Martin received $46 billion in unclassified federal contracts last year, returned $11 billion to shareholders through dividends and stock buybacks, and paid its CEO $25 million.
Oh, he deserves it.
These companies are fully reliant on the U.S. taxpayer, yet their CEOs make over 100 times more than the Secretary of Defense and 500% more than the average newly enlisted service member.
Let me tell you, to the people that are all like, we need to cut wages to help this inflation crisis, right? Wage increase spiral, as they call it. Are we ever going to talk about these insane compensation contracts that basically ruin corporations and companies?
If we're really looking at what true security is about, it means everything that we can do to improve the lives of ordinary Americans. True security is that we address the crisis of a declining life expectancy, the gap between the lifespan of the wealthy and the working class of this year is over 10 years. If you are working class in this country, you're going to die 10 years shorter than the wealthy. Is that not an issue of national security? Do we not want to make sure that all
I guess
of
we
our
deserve
people,
it.
whether they're rich or poor or middle class, have the right to live full and productive and healthy lives? I think so. That's called national security.
They're better than us, so they should live. They should live longer. Elysium.
To do with the issue of education for our kids. How are we secure if our young people, from childcare to graduate school, are not getting the quality of education? Madam President, there are millions of children who today in America, as we speak, are food insecure. There are days go by when they are hungry.
Yeah.
How do we talk about national security and not talk about the crisis of childhood hunger, not to mention childhood poverty in general?
Exactly.
How do we talk about national security when people are sleeping out on the street? How do we, in any sense of the word, talk about national security without understanding that the weather in Texas, in the Southwest, is now hitting record-breaking levels? People are dying from the heat. Oceans are getting hotter. We're looking at drought. We're looking at extreme weather disturbances in my own state. Just several weeks ago, the worst natural disaster, torrential rainfalls that we have had since 1927. That is national security, where the people get forced out of their homes because of flooding, die from heat stroke. That's called national security.
That's a great point.
This body, the Senate, could decide to have one or two fewer ballistic missile submarines, saving almost $15 billion over the next decade. And we could put that money, and we'll go a long way toward housing the homeless or feeding the 5 million children in this country who are food insecure.
5 million.
Instead, day after day, here
5
in
million
Washington,
kids hungry in the United States.
many of my colleagues tell the American people that we just don't have the money. We can't do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to all people. Can't provide affordable housing, can't provide affordable child care, can't provide nutrition to kids in America who are hungry. We just can't afford to do any of those things. But come the military budget and all the lobbyists around here from the defense contractors, my God, we can't stop throwing money at them. So, Madam President, what I would say is that the time is long overdue for our country to get our national priorities right. And one small step forward would be to say no to this very bloated and wasteful military budget and start reordering our priorities so that we pay attention to the needs of the middle class and working class and low-income people rather than just defense contractors. And with that, Madam President, I yield.
Yeah, wow. That's really going to happen. It's a shame. It's a shame that we didn't have a left-wing superstar rise to the ranks in 2016. And when he was attacked by the neoliberal establishment, he chose to fight instead of capitulate to the neoliberal establishment, and now basically is just at most a mild annoyance. The potential of Bernie, the potential he had in 2016, what he could have done to this country. Real quick, I was looking at some of these questions, right? It's always a game to them, right? These gotcha questions over here. Saying, because I was saying, Apple has $100 billion in assets. This is a company, not an individual. So now, right, when it benefits their argument, oh, now corporations are not people. When we're talking about taxation, oh, they shouldn't be treated like individuals that are hoarding wealth. They're corporations, not people. Okay. So can we start treating them like that legally and, you know, in a myriad of other ways? No, 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 no. Corporations are people, my friend. Remember the Romney quote? Wanted to show this. You know, conservatives are always projecting. Every accusation is a confession. So the quote-unquote Sound of Freedom movie, which is supposed to be an anti-child kidnapping documentary, quote-unquote, that says, you know, the LGBTQ people are grooming children, rampantly grooming children everywhere. They're coming after your kids. They're coming after your kids. When, of course, the statistics show us that you're more likely to be diddled by your MAGA uncle or your MAGA-loving priest than you are a gay person. You know, you're more in trouble to be in a super manly, super straight Texas, you know, bar bathroom. You're more in danger there than you are in some gay bar, right? To get molested against your will. So here we have one of the funders for Sound of Freedom charged with child kidnapping. Oh, who guessed it? Oh. But I guess he's still not a groomer, huh? Because he's not gay? So one of the funders of the anti-child trafficking hit film Sound of Freedom was arrested and charged last month with, you guessed it, child kidnapping. Every accusation is a confession. I mean, it's a little hyperbolic to say that, but goddamn, it comes true so often. So often. Oh, we hate pedophilia. We hate pedophilia. Total pedophile. Did a whole video, you know, invested his own money in a whole video. Oh, I care so much about. You know what they care about? You know why they're doing this? Because they see this as an effective way to scare people into being conservatives. Well, we got boogeymen. You have to be a conservative. There are boogeymen trying to take over your way of life and teach your children to be sexual at a young age. You got to be careful. You know, completely mischaracterizing what teaching a child about other, you know, homosexual relationships and things like that. That's not teaching a child how to have sex. Okay, that's just letting them know, you know, why two men are holding hands. Kids ask those questions. They deserve answers. Lying to a kid, oh, they're holding hands because they're good friends. Okay, I mean, whatever. I mean, they find out later in their life. Like, what are you protecting them from? Right? What are you protecting them from? Knowledge that gay people exist? Why would you want to teach somebody that a certain section of the population doesn't exist? Why would that be a healthier thing to teach a child than just, oh yeah, sometimes, you know, a guy likes another guy, a girl likes another girl. Ah, my kid, oh no. My kid was gay because they were told about gay people. It's a really weak argument. And it's fear-mongering at its finest. It's the definition of fear-mongering. People like people. Who would have thought, right? All right, so moving on from that subject, we're going to get into our Trumpy-Dumpy news. Yay, Trumpy-Dumpy. Everyone loves our favorite ex-president, who's actually technically still our president, by the way. Everyone loves this guy. So I thought we would jump into this video because this is the latest news. So Trump was just indicted for the third time. And he's still, the other two indictments aren't finished, by the way. He still has, he's getting convicted all over the place. So on top of that, look, when you're being indicted, when you're, when you're in trouble like this, you're not allowed to threaten people. You're not allowed to talk about the case on social media, but you're especially not allowed to threaten people that are involved in the case. right? You're not allowed to go on social media and say XYZ involved in this case is a bad person. It's a big fat no-no, and there's a really good reasons why. Trump is, of course, ignoring all that, and and he's testing the legal system here, really, because he's basically saying, arrest me, cowards. You're not going to arrest me, because he should be arrested for violating what is basically a gag order, and his ass should be put behind bars immediately, right? So you're basically put behind bars until your court date. Right, so that you're like you can't control yourself, so we're going to control you. That's what should happen. No, I'm a sad man because I don't want to go back to an orange bloated authoritarian who tried to dissolve democracy for his own ego. I get you. Trump derangement syndrome. It means I'm so obsessed with Trump, right? I accidentally just clicked on, what is this, Opera? Okay. Yeah, no, I have Trump derangement syndrome because I acknowledge that Trump is a criminal and he's a danger to our democracy. I get you. Not really going to waste a lot of time with you, buddy. It looks like you've actually been here quite a bit. The Smurfs, 3 years? Yeah, okay, exactly my point. Free Palestine from Hamas. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like this person's been here a while. I tell you what, I'm going to unban them, but I'm going to give them a nice 55-minute timeout. There we go. Yeah, no, I mean... Look, I'm not everyone, if you've watched the show for 5 fucking milliseconds, you know for a fact I'm not a fan of Joe fucking Biden. Okay? Jimmy Carson over here making fun of Joe Biden. At the same time, I'm not deranged enough to think that there isn't some clear differences between extreme MAGA right-wingers who literally want to destroy democracy, who literally want to install authoritarianism, that's not being hyperbolic, versus milquetoast corporatist neoliberals who want a status quo that allows them to stuff their pockets, but basically respect the boundaries of what is established democratic norms in the United States. One party wants to radically change our democracy to benefit itself. Another party wants to fill its pockets, but basically is not a threat to that democratic system. There are clear differences, and don't you dare let the gaslighters tell you otherwise. There are clear differences. Okay? Let's jump into it here. So let's just see. Is Trump going to go to jail before he's even, convicted? Which would be really funny. I don't think so. I honestly, I don't think Trump is going to see a day in jail. I really don't. I still think somehow Trump is going to squeak his way out of all this shit, or maybe die the day before he actually has to go to jail. Wouldn't that be some fun? Wouldn't that be just justice? Wouldn't that just be the cherry on top of this shit sundae? Right? He's about to go to jail. It's like his first day at jail and he fucking keels over and dies right there. Wouldn't that just be great?
All right, we got some breaking news that came out just at the top of the hour, and it is this document in which the special counsel's office has made a request to the judge in the indictment of Donald Trump, in the case against Donald Trump, for a protective order for the documents, the discovery of the documents that are required that they hand over to the defense. Here's the gist of the argument. It's several pages long, but the government writes to the judge. On August 2nd, the government sent a proposed protective order to counsel for the defendant. Defense counsel subsequently responded on August 4th, today, with a different proposed protective order that did not, in the government's estimation, protect numerous categories of sensitive materials, including grand jury materials and search warrant affidavits. Continues later to say, and in recent days regarding this case, the defendant has issued multiple posts, either specifically or by implication, including the following, which defendant posted just hours ago. And it is this Truth Social post that Donald Trump posted in all caps, in which he says, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." The government continues, if the defendant were to begin issuing public posts using details or, for example, grand jury transcripts obtained in discovery here, it could have a harmful, chilling effect on witnesses or adversely affect the fair administration of justice in this case. I'm going to pick that up in a second.
Guys, it's not the deep state committing a crime on your First Amendment rights by telling you you're not allowed to badger witnesses and intimidate witnesses in your court case. There's no free speech protection there, bud. You're just not allowed to do that.
But if you believe Donald Trump, America's prosecutors are doing what he does, thinking always and only about him.
Prosecutor Alvin Bragg of New York.
Or wait a minute, do we like this guy?
Who campaigned
I don't
on
remember
the fact that
Boo,
he would
no, we don't like him.
Get President Trump, district attorney in Atlanta, who is doing everything in her power to indict me. A special prosecutor named Jack Smith is only looking at Trump.
Okay.
So he's like literally calling these people out by name, people that are directly involved in his case, calling them out by name and saying, if you come after me, I'm going to come after you. Basically threatening that once I get into power, I'm going to ruin your careers, right? I mean, I guess, right, at the bare minimum. I don't think these are death threats. Like Trump coming after you with his little tiny hands. He's coming to choke you. He fucking craps himself and like, just get me a Coke.
Let's evaluate that for a second. The day Donald Trump was indicted, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, was at a community block party in Philadelphia for the National Night Out Against Crime. Yesterday, the day Donald Trump was arraigned, the Justice Department announced 6 guilty pleas in a horrific case of racist police abuse in Mississippi. The Department of Justice has 115,000 employees. 3 of them were representing the government in the case against Donald Trump. The Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, has been busy working on multiple cases, including the indictment of a New York pedicab driver for bribery and multiple indictments in different murder investigations. The Trump case is just one of many that his office is working on, and it's one of many very similar cases that he's prosecuted. In Georgia, where Fani Willis is expected to announce charging decisions in her investigation into efforts to overturn the election in that state, she told reporters yesterday, as she was at an event at an Atlanta technical college, that her office has 380 employees and is managing multiple high-profile cases at the same time. These prosecutors are not like posters on Twitter or whatever it's called now. They're not interested in a media battle with Donald Trump. They're professionals who want to win cases in court, and to do that, they have to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, okay. All this hinges on a conviction, right? If Trump skates, I mean, I'm going to show you some stats in the next clip. I'm going to show you that are mind-boggling. Like apparently if he is guilty on anything, if he just gets snagged on one of these charges from any of these indictments, just one of them, it's jail time. Like there's no sentence he can receive that doesn't demand some amount of jail time. So he's either completely innocent for every single thing, or he just needs to get nabbed on one single thing, and that motherfucker's in the slammer. Okay? But MSNBC over here talking with certainty, it you know what it feels like? It feels like Robert, when they were doing the Robert Mueller report shit, when it was all about Robert Mueller, and they were basically speaking with certainty. Okay, here's what's going to happen. He's going to get convicted of this, and he's going to get convicted of that, and here's this and that and this. They do hour after hour after hour fantasizing about what was going to happen to Trump. Okay, so all this talk about, oh, this is just business as usual. You know, Trump's just another guy. He's not going to get any special treatment. Bullshit. He's already gotten an inordinate amount of special treatment, a ton of special treatment. It didn't have to be handcuffed, a bunch of things. So he's already shown that he's above the regular Joe. What is MSNBC going to do? Is the whole operation just going to fold up if Trump skates on everything, literally isn't convicted of a single thing and skates, fucking walks out of there with his gun like Kyle Rittenhouse? Totally innocent. I killed 2 people.
The special counsel, Jack Smith, has brought an indictment against Donald Trump for his actions leading up to and including January 6th, which means that Jack Smith and his team believes that they can successfully convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt of the facts in that indictment. This is too big and risky a case to wing it. And for a practitioner's view of making a charging decision, joining us now is Mimi Rocha, District Attorney for Westchester County, New York. She previously served as an Assistant United States Attorney in the Southern.
I just wanted to do that. I don't really want to get into this interview with somebody. You know, these partisan interviews, they're really, really boring. If you want to get into the nuts and bolts of it, right? I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, I don't want to get into the what ifs because MSNBC will bore you into a fucking cemetery talking about what if this and what if that, and talk to lawyers and people from the fucking CIA and a bunch of other, people that, okay, whatever, right? Maybe woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybe what they're saying is true, maybe there isn't, right? Right? So we're going to cut this. I want to get into this. It's Chris Hayes. I know. Grab your fucking barf bag because here we go. We're all in with Chris Hayes here. Watch this space. Fucking Roblox. But these stats are nuts. He's not making this shit up. It's $1 million operation. They got a whole staff, right? So they can do this kind of research and make these flashy graphics. And I wanted to show you these numbers because this is nuts, man. Trump needs to go to jail or law and order doesn't exist in this country. If Trump doesn't go to jail, law and order is a myth in the United States. Honestly, we're at that point. The man is so fucking guilty. It's outrageous, dude. It's literally outrageous if this man doesn't see any kind of jail time. So look at some of these stats. This is nuts.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Well, for Donald Trump, the stakes of the next presidential election are clear. We all know him. He is running for his freedom. To put an even finer point on it,
woke patriot Didnak, he shouldn't have an option in these things. He is a fucking American citizen. I don't care if he was president. He's a citizen. Right? That's supposed to mean something.
He's running for his life. I mean, the ex-president now faces 78 criminal counts across 3 jurisdictions.
78 across 3 jurisdictions. 78 across 3 jurisdictions. Think about that.
And a combined 641 years in prison. At age 77, if he is convicted of any of these offenses, just one.
Any of them.
He could spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. The stakes for the country are equally dire. Donald Trump tried to end America's constitutional republic, and we know that and have known that for a while.
That's
the facts as they are alleged in the most recent federal indictment, the facts as they are laid out in the 840-page select committee report, and the facts as we all witnessed them with our own 2 eyes in the run-up to and on the day of January.
Criminals need to go to jail. Because if all you need to do is get to that office to then commit certain crimes, then we're going to see criminals seek that office so that they can commit those crimes. All you're doing, Nidnak, is creating an incentive for further corruption. Nidnak, you are creating an incentive for further corruption. All you're doing is incentivizing criminal behavior. You're just saying all you need to do is get to this position of power, then abuse it.
January 6, 2021. Had Donald Trump convinced...
The system demands justice. It's just as simple as that.
Enough people to go along with his
The system isn't hinged on giving powerful people special privileges. The system won't collapse if a powerful person goes to jail like a regular person does. How absurd. How beyond absurd. Oh, the walls will start caving in if Donald Trump goes to jail. I fucking doubt it. And you know what? I'm willing to risk it all to send a criminal to jail just to see what the ramifications would be. Because you know what the ramifications would be? Life would go on. Life would go on. We cannot allow criminals to get away with crimes just because they've held an office. Outrageous. Fucking George Washington spinning in his fucking grave, man. Be disgusted with that.
We could be living right now in a kind of presidential dictatorship. And he has explicitly said and signaled.
I don't disagree, but I don't think it should exist, and I don't think the stability of the system demands that it exists. I want to see an end to the two-tier justice system. And you know what? Arresting a president for committing crimes is a goddamn good way of showing that your system is actually not two-tiered. It's setting a legal precedent that cements that your system isn't as two-tiered as one would assume. I would never in a million years defend perpetuating the two-tier justice system that allows rich people and influential people to get away with crimes. I would never defend that and say that we need to coddle that. We need to break it.
Multiple times that he is running again to finish the job.
Trump breaks that.
I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Name a special prosecutor.
Shut the fuck.
And all others involved with the destruction of our elections, our borders, and our country itself. They're destroying our country.
Fair enough, Nick.
And when I'm reelected, and we will get reelected, we have no choice. We're not going to have a country anymore.
Yeah, we have no
I
choice.
will totally obliterate the deep state. We will obliterate the deep state.
The ex-president now finds himself cornered legally. He's mostly alone. Have you noticed that? None of his family members by his side. He's unable to summon the mobs he once was, and he's been denuded of the official power of the presidency. He's smaller in many ways. He's not getting any younger.
It's your opinion.
And he's attempting to threaten his way through.
It's your opinion. Honestly, Trump debating Biden, it would be a slam dunk. Does anyone believe otherwise? Chris Hayes over here, he's kind of small. He's lost a lot of power. Trump would obliterate Joe fucking Biden right now in a debate. Or does anyone even question that?
This afternoon, he threatened,
he'd go
apparently,
all in.
His prosecutors, writing, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." If he is elected next year, Donald Trump could very well escape accountability. That's the plan of him and his advisors.
Trump still has
to get elected and then avoid facing trial on the dozens of charges he faces, or drop the charges, or avoid sentencing. And then, upon taking office, he would set about the task of completing the unfinished work of January 6th, which was the work of destroying American democracy. As the New York Times reported last
he's not being hyperbolic pointing this out. There is a concentrated right-wing effort to dismantle and subvert democracy. Zealot, that's a good point. Good point. I don't think anyone really wins from that. Well, yeah, no, the duopoly of American politics, nobody is winning. Like, no regular person is winning. Rich people are winning. But yeah, the current political duopoly, yeah, not a lot of regular folks are winning off that for sure.
Last month.
But no, it's not being hyperbolic. There is a concentrated, they're planning it, they're affecting it, they're putting this plan into motion. To dissolve democracy, to change democracy irrevocably, so that it benefits the authoritarian right wing. That's just a fact. Well, it's not like I support Biden, but I'm not going to be, I'm still an American citizen, and I got to pick. There's going to be two names on that ballot, and I could write in a candidate, throw my vote away completely. We'll see. Last session, I voted for Hulk Hogan, and then I discovered he's a right winger. So there you go. Can't win them all.
Trump and his allies are planning a sweeping expansion of presidential power over the machinery of government, reshaping the structure of the executive branch to
It's a fact.
concentrate far greater authority directly in his hands.
That's a fact.
Includes bringing independent agencies under direct presidential control, reviving the practices of impounding funds, refusing to spend money Congress has appropriated for programs the president doesn't like.
Yeah, so, education programs, LGBTQ programs, whatever it is, whatever their bias is, right? They just, you voted for it. You voted for the politician to support it. The politician ran on supporting this thing, right? Money's been appropriated. They just take it.
Making it easier to replace career civil servants, removing State Department and intelligence agency officials he describes as the sick political class that hates our country.
He wants the lackeys.
Let's be clear. A lot of this is tough talk from a guy who's in a lot of trouble. Hitting out the caps lock on his Truth Social posts. But
this motherfucking nerd really shouldn't be making fun of anybody. He's over here, oligarch MSNBC, right? How about Chris Hayes goes all in on the Palestinian apartheid situation? How quickly would his fucking ad dollars be getting a call from corporate real fucking quick over here? All right. So Chris Hayes acting like a tough guy is kind of annoying. All right. Poindexter, you're looking like Milhouse had a son.
You got to take it seriously. If you've ever seen an image of what happened on January 6th, right? The guy's running for president, he could win. Imagine how our system of justice would run in that world. I mean, really, it's hard to think about, but it could happen. Taking the oath.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
elected the president.
Knick-knack.
Maybe he would pardon his as yet unindicted co-conspirator Jeffrey Clark and finally succeed installing that guy as attorney general.
Okay, I'm gonna say it right here. I'm straight up slander, straight up made up, pulled out of my ass slander. But I'm gonna say it right here. I want to see this motherfucker's web browser history, dude. I want to see Homeboy's web browser history. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know a goddamn thing about this guy, but you know what? Let me see your laptop, sir.
Conspirator Jeffrey Clark and finally succeed installing that guy as attorney general. Not a particularly far-fetched idea if Donald Trump wins the presidency again.
Might be a family man.
He could not be making it more clear that he intends to defeat American democracy once and for all if he is given the means. And obviously, it goes without saying, even though I have to say it, that a man like that should not be allowed anywhere near the levers of power. That was clear to me and many of you 8 years ago when he came down the escalator. And there are mechanisms to stop him short of putting him in prison for the rest of his natural life. First of all, there's a really good case to be made. He should be barred from holding office under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution.
You talking about the
Section
Constitution?
3 of which states,
they don't give a
and
shit.
I quote, "No person shall hold any office who, having previously taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States, like the president, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same."
Isn't it funny about the Constitution how it doesn't matter, how big chunks of it don't matter because our justice system just doesn't go after criminals who commit crimes against the Constitution? Like, how come there isn't a separate judicial body that is just looking for direct, if you are directly violating the Constitution, the motherfucking law of the land, okay? It's the Constitution up at the top and then everything else below it when it comes to the hierarchy of legal precedent, right? When the Supreme Court is saying it's this or that, this is the document they're interpreting, okay? So when there's a clear-cut, simple case of somebody violating a direct clause or amendment in the Constitution, isn't it funny how they can just get away with it? Because if no one goes after them for it, the Supreme Court ignores it, judges ignore it, no lawyers even bother going after it. That you can just get away with violating the Constitution, right? It's only worth the paper that it's written on if we actually take the word seriously. But isn't it funny how we can just not take the word seriously and just not do anything about it? I think that's really interesting, right? This is supposed to be the ultimate law of the land, and big chunks of it just completely ignored. right? And even if they were like, if this was brought up, Supreme Court would knock it down.
And there's been a movement spring up to try to bar his reelection on precisely these grounds. Lawsuits in the courts or legislation. And I got to say, it hasn't gotten a ton of attention, but I think it has a lot of merit. I think Donald Trump plainly engaged in insurrection and plainly should therefore be ineligible for future office per the U.S. Constitution.
He's a fucking
I think
traitor.
The original intent of that amendment would see it that way, too. But of course, there's another way that he could be barred from future office, and that's impeachment. Remember that one? After January 6th, Donald Trump was impeached in the House for the second time. First president ever. He could have been convicted in the Senate and, pursuant to the conviction, barred from holding future office. 7 members of his own party voted for that conviction. It was the most bipartisan support for an impeachment conviction in the history of this nation. At one point, even Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was reportedly considering voting to convict. But when it came down to it, McConnell just washed his hands of the whole thing.
Because he's a coward.
Shrugged, told the country.
It's not about because with Mitch McConnell, it's not about the country. It's not even about his own personal health. It's about the party. This man will sacrifice everything for the Republican Party.
Not my job to hold Donald Trump accountable, but, maybe someone else should do it.
Our system of government gave the Senate a specific task.
It lies from a corpse. I don't even need to hear it. So there you go. I just wanted to show the numbers. I really just wanted to show the numbers at the beginning there. And I still think, 68, I think there was 68 potential convictions from Trump. 68, and if he's guilty of any of those, he could go to jail for the rest of his life. Panda Man, you say that, and then you support politicians who would love to disregard the Constitution and do that at every step. So don't give me that I support politicians that support originalism. Your entire party supports subverting the Constitution and routinely ignores the document. That doesn't matter, though. Welcome back, making my way downtown. Of course it does, Nidnack. Just a head drink coaster said there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. But the genie of fascism, we put that genie back in the bottle in World War II. When society had enough of fascism, we put that genie right back in that bottle. It definitely wasn't easy. You're already on Discord, making my way downtown. But if you want the link again, right here. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I know nobody's wearing masks. I even catch myself forgetting to wear a mask when I just need to run into the 7-Eleven really quick. But you might want to reconsider that. Don't give a shit if people judge you. Don't listen to the gaslighters that are telling you you're sheep for not wearing a mask. You're a tough guy for catching COVID, I guess. But the summer wave is seeing a massive increase in COVID cases. As the summer wave of COVID-19 hits the U.S., questions about vaccines, quarantine, and testing are back. Once again, don't listen to Panda Man, who's going to give you. Panda Man's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He's a political hack. He's a loser who worships a right-wing political party. So don't take medical advice from people like that. And listen to me when I say the scientists are saying otherwise. Let's get into it. COVID-19 is on the rise again as the world approaches the 4th virus season since the coronavirus arrived on the scene. U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data show a slight increase in hospital admissions, emergency department visits, and positive COVID-19 tests, although not nearly as high as in past summers. Summer travel, unrelenting heat that drives people indoors, and weakened immunity to the virus may all be to blame for this increase in COVID-19 activity rather than an infectious new variant. Experts say it's impossible to know what the fall and winter virus season may hold, but there are still tools to get through the small summer surge and prepare for the months ahead. Should you get vaccinated now or wait for a new booster in the fall? Of course, conservatives in the chat will say you should never get vaccinated again. If you have already been vaccinated, don't get vaccinated again. And if you haven't been vaccinated yet, don't get the vaccination. That's what they will tell you. Because they don't care if you die. They don't care if, all they care about is making a point, carrying water for a political party. And because it freakishly benefits the right-wing conservative political party for them to spread lies about vaccination, they do it. Think about the last time a medical scientist has told you to not get vaccinated. Okay? How many conservative hacks who don't have medical degrees, who don't know what they're talking about, and once again, are carrying water for a political party, making excuses for a political party, how many times have they told you to not take vaccine versus how many times a trained medical professional has advised you not to take a vaccine? There's a difference. There's a difference between a loser who is licking the balls of a political party and a trained professional. I'm sorry, there is a difference. So should you get vaccinated now or wait for the new booster? COVID-19 is not going anywhere, so doctors say it's best to protect yourself against the virus the same way you would the flu, getting vaccinated, of course. By the way, we're seeing right-wing conservatives now reject flu vaccines and other normal vaccinations. We're seeing their ignorance spread to that, making their lives even more miserable, getting their kids, kids catching measles and shit that they shouldn't be catching since the 1930s. Moderna and Pfizer are both working on updated COVID-19 vaccines targeted to the XBB strains, subvariants of the Omicron variant. Pfizer has said its new shot should be approved in November, and vaccines are expected to be available in late September or early October. So that's the question. Should you wait for September or October, or should you get a booster now? Canada, the Canadian government tells me when I qualify for a booster. So, and it usually is after stuff like this. So they'll probably be telling me I could get in the queue September, October, and get my booster. Dr. Peter Chin Hong, an infectious disease specialist at the University of California, San Francisco, says if you are over the age of 65 or have a weakened immune system, you have no recent immunity to COVID-19, you should not wait to get an updated COVID-19 shot. The bivalent booster currently being offered will provide sufficient immunity. People who get the existing booster will then need to wait weeks or months before getting the updated booster expected to be released in the fall. Yes. Yeah, because you can't get a new vaccine. There's a certain amount of time you have to wait before getting the new one. Do I like Hassan? Not particularly. I'm going to have to admit, I'm not a big fan, of Hassan. I really feel like he could be doing a lot more for leftist political movements. Quote, I would probably go and get it right now if you haven't been boosted recently, he said, adding that immunity strain puts older under. Okay, we have already said that. The same applies to children who have never been vaccinated or have not been vaccinated recently, according to Dr. Adam Ratner, a pediatric infectious disease specialist at New York University and a member of the Committee on Infectious Diseases at the American Academy of Pediatrics. Also a libtard who probably voted for Joe Biden. Quote, I would not wait if I had an unvaccinated kid, Ratner says. The variants that are circulating right now are less efficiently neutralized by antibodies that come from the original vaccine. But that's not the same as there being no protection from the earlier versions of the vaccine. Meanwhile, most Americans who have some immunity to COVID-19, whether through vaccination or prior infection, can likely wait until the updated COVID-19 vaccine becomes available in the fall. So this is appropriate for you that's probably watching right now. Most Americans who have some immunity, you've already been vaccinated, you can probably wait till September, October before getting your new booster from all the new variants. When it is available, Chin Hong says people should start to get the newest COVID-19 booster along with their flu shot every fall to prevent hospitalizations and death, along with serious disruptions to daily life. Do not listen to people who think Joe Rogan is a smart source of information. Okay? Especially people who call Joe Rogan a liberal, because that means that they are down with the grift and they're trying to perpetuate the grift that Joe Rogan is in any way a left-winger. Okay? He's going to have Trump on. All right? He's already flirting with it. He's going to have Trump on. But I really do credit Joe Rogan for some of the most intense vaccine ignorance that I've seen. It really is amazing just how incorrect his recommendations around COVID were and still continue to be, how unserious he is, right? And how so many millions of people are tuning into Joe Rogan, right? To get their advice on medical things, right? Anyway, if you want to read the rest of this article right here, here it is. U.S. conservatives operate under liberal democracy. Interesting. My number one favorite gal, activist du jour, Greta Thunberg, pulls out of Edinburgh Book Festival appearance after accusing key sponsor of greenwashing. Yeah, folks, it's called principles. All right? She wants real action, right? She's not going to attach her name and her face to some company that is just greenwashing, putting a green label instead of actually changing their practices or living what they actually promise, right? And she's very aware of that. She's very aware of how quickly she could be co-opted and used against her will to support corporatism, right? And they want to water down her message. They want her to become co-opted. The oligarchy, the empire, right? They want her message to become less truthful, less honest by compromising her, right? Take the money, Greta, take the money. Climate activist Greta Thunberg has canceled an appearance at an Edinburgh International Book Festival after accusing one of the festival's main sponsors of greenwashing. Thunberg announced her decision to pull out of the event in a statement shared by the festival on Friday, outlining her belief that as a climate activist, she cannot attend an event sponsored by an investment management firm, well, there you go, Bally Guilford, due to its connections with the fossil fuel industry. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, she's a hippie. Oh, whatever. She's a kid. Shut the fuck up. Okay? It's called living your principles. Try it out one of these days instead of shaping excuses around failed political parties. She was set to speak at the 3,000-seat Playhouse Theater. Well, that's not very big. In Edinburgh on August 13th to discuss her appeal for climate action in an event titled Greta Thunberg, It's Not Too Late to Change the World. Oh, gross. Oh, I hate that message. Ew. What's next? She's going to say she wants world peace? Gross. No, this is the right attitude. This is the right direction. We need to abandon nihilism. We need to embrace political activism, and we need to live our principles. We need to identify what our principles are, what we actually believe in, and we need to die for that shit. And this is how you do it right here. This is how you change the world. Quote, looks like from Greta, I am unfortunately unable to attend the Edinburgh Book Festival as a climate activist. I cannot attend an event which receives sponsorship from Bally Guilford, who invests heavily in the fossil fuel industry, Thunberg said. Quote, greenwashing efforts by the fossil fuel industry, including sponsorship of cultural events, allow them to keep the social license to continue operating. I cannot and do not want to be associated with events that accept this kind of sponsorship, her statement continued, and she is 100% It's not necessary all the time, but if you're going to really create change and you're not willing to die for that shit, you're not going to get far. Okay? You're not going to get far. The country is great because of the principles that we said, you know, this is the line we draw. We go no further. When it comes to defense of personal liberty, defense of the republic, right? Defending the concepts of democracy and the separation of, you know, church and state, but also the three major branches. Let's see. The executive, the legislative, and judicial. Did I get it right? Did I get the three branches right? I always forget them. No, man, we have to plant trees that we know we won't enjoy the shade of. If we want to create a better society, we have to come at it with that mentality that we suffer for a better world for our progeny, and we instill the values that tell them that they need to do the same, or else we will fall to authoritarianism, or else we will fall to fascism if we don't hold true on these values. And this is what that looks like. She is that embodied. She is making a stand. And yeah, she's gained some celebrity for it. Awesome. Great. Stop hating. Stop hating. Greenwashing is a practice where marketing and PR language is intentionally misleading. Yada, 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 yada. So people agree. The festival, this is interesting. The festival's director, Nick Barley, responded in a separate statement saying that although he is disappointed that Thunberg will no longer be appearing, he fully respected her decision. And this is interesting. Wow, look at this. Quote, I share Greta's view that in all areas of society, the rate of progress is not enough, Barley continued. Not gonna reject that big money sponsorship, are you though, buddy? Barley went on to highlight the crucial role played by organizations such as Bailey Guilford in keeping the event, such as Edinburgh alive. Oh, the money too good. Oh, see, this is what it looks like when you're a neoliberal who's too used to bending on your principles. This is the problem with neoliberals right here. Right? They want their cake and to eat it too, right? They want to use progressive language, but they don't want to challenge the structures of power, right? They want a status quo that benefits the rich. This is the problem with neoliberals, and this is why we need Greta's perspective. No more. We need to draw a line in the sand with these neoliberals, these corporatists, and say, no, oligarchs don't get to just buy their way into the zeitgeist and change public perception around the crimes that they're committing. We will draw a line in the sand. We'll call it out, and we're not going to accept it. Great stuff. So I love Greta. She's the best. I love her. She's just the best, and I want to see more of her. I want to see her succeed. So, you know, hopefully one day I can, you know, get into a protest with her. That'd be really great. It'd be an honor. All right, moving on to the next. I wanted to follow up with a statement from Greta here, just to hear her own words. I don't know if this is specific. She was asked like a question about this, but I just thought it came up, and I thought this was nice. The video from Greenpeace, of all places, you know, kind of blowing off the dust on that one. But let's hear what Greta has to say.
All the record-breaking heat waves and the extreme weather events we've seen during this summer is just the beginning of a rapidly escalating existential crisis. We will be seeing much more of this. This is not the new normal. It will continue to escalate and get worse until we start to take real action. And that's why we need to do it now, before it gets even worse. My message to the people in power who might be listening to this is that you have to be on the right side of history. We are many who are judging you and who are watching you. If you think that you can just get away with a few more years, a few more months of continued business as usual to maximize short-term profits, then you are very wrong, and history will judge you very poorly.
So I just wanted to point out the moron in the chat that I had to time out yet again, third time today. Thanks for coming back, asshole. I really do get some kind of sick pleasure out of just timing you out again and again and again. But trying to sound smart over here, Greta is a neo-Luddite. So I guess that is some term. By the way, I don't think you needed to capitalize Luddite there, smart fella. But yeah, neo-Luddite. So I guess this is some kind of new term that they're going to start calling climate activists that want to change laws and change, the way corporations do business so that we pollute less. That's not, it's so funny to me because it actually requires a lot of advanced technology and a lot of advanced solutions. A lot of these green solutions would not have been possible without incredible advancements in society, in science and technology. It's literally the exact opposite of being a Luddite, which is using advanced science and technology to fix a problem. That's the exact opposite of what a Luddite would do. So once again, are we going to let these conservatives run our lives? They're dishonest. They're bad actors. They just lie. She's not a neo-Luddite. You made that term up. You spelled it incorrectly or grammatically presented it incorrectly. Are we supposed to take these people seriously when they interrupt us, right? When they inject their half-baked opinions into our discussion about real solutions, right? Stop letting them control the narrative. Put them out like a hot cigarette butt and then move on with your life. You know what's right. You know what's moral. You know what we have to do. Stop letting the bad actors inject their cynicism and nihilism into the narrative of real progressive change, because they want to destroy it at all costs. They want to destroy these narratives at all costs. Greta Thunberg needs to be a villain, needs to be funded by George Soros, and she needs to be all these things to fit a narrative, a worldview, a manufactured worldview that benefits the oligarchy. And that's the other crazy thing. The foot soldiers, Panda Man, the foot soldiers over here perpetuating this narrative get nothing from it. In fact, their quality of life reduces. It's fascinating. But look, it's the game that we play. It's the world that we live in. Right? All I can tell you is that the only solution is to mute them. Okay, you exist. Good for you. I'm gonna continue forward, knowing that what I know is correct and moral and right. We do need to stop polluting the earth. We do need to pay the middle class more, not less. We do need to tax the rich and stop paying executives obscene amount of money for collapsing their companies. These things do actually make sense, no matter what they tell you, because they will tell you, nope, 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 nope. And they have some guy that they hired that blah, 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 blah. They're partisan and they don't care about reality. Therefore, we're not talking about them not existing, but goddamn, stop wasting your time letting them inject their madness into what should be a debate about, okay, how are we going to do this? Do we target solar? Do we target wind? Is wave energy generation where it's going? What's the status on the garbage patch? Are we reducing that? What's the status of more new junk getting thrown into the garbage patch? Right? Oh no, it doesn't even exist. Blah, 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 blah. That's what they want. They want to take that conversation and devolve it into definitions and semantics, and it's not even real. It's not even real. They don't want to have a debate about fixing the problem. They want to have a debate about the existence of the problem, because that's one step further away from implementing a solution. Don't you understand? They are enemies of progress, conservatives. They are trying to destroy us. They really are. Last little bit of climate here. A great government ad about COP31 And you know, I love Juice Media. These guys are great. So I thought I'd inject a little comedy here.
Hello, bonjour, ciao stronzi, namaste, hum mother chod hai. I'm from the Australian government with a message to the world. As cities bake, fires rage, reefs die, jet streams weaken, and 6 Ligma events cause climate scientists to shit their dacks, many are wondering if we've finally broken our favourite planet. But don't despair, Australia's here to help.
Yeah,
No,
Juice
not by
Media.
phasing out coal and gas, by inviting
Pretty
the world to a
ladies.
big fucking dinner party. Introducing our bid to host the 2026 UN Climate Summit, COP31. We know, after a decade of climate inaction under the last government, our international reputation is in tatters. Thankfully, this is a new government. As Chris said, Australia is back. But for those of you not fluent in Cantonese, the official language of the Australian government, what he's saying is, we're back to approving coal mines, expanding gas production, and opening up the NT to fracking. So we really need to host a COP to restore our reputation and look like climate leaders. Coal!
Yeah.
Gas! Carbon credits! PR! Hosting COP! By these powers combined, we are full of shit! Yes, we know. After undermining 2 decades of climate summits with lies, loopholes, artificially inflated baselines, and our fake Kyoto credits, many of you would rather shit in your hands and clap than let Australia host a COP. That's why we came up with the genius idea of co-hosting it with countries the world actually likes. Our Pacific Island neighbours. Because unlike us posers, they're actually being climate leaders. These guys introduced a plan to cut shipping emissions, which we voted against. And these guys issued the Port Vila Resolution, which calls for an end to fossil fuel expansion in the Pacific, and which we've ignored. Even kids in the Pacific are bigger climate leaders than us. They've prompted the International Court of Justice to decide if polluters like us are legally accountable for failing to act on the climate crisis.
Nice.
So clearly, co-hosting COP with the Pacific would make our bid look much less shit. And it worked. The Swiss wanted to host this COP too, but they withdrew their bid when they saw ours. And those Pacific Islands are totes up for it too. Kinda, sort of. All they've asked for in exchange is that we end fossil fuel subsidies and stop approving new coal and gas projects. To which we said, settle Gretel, be grateful for the aid we give you to deal with climate damage. Like the twin cyclones that just devastated Vanuatu. Sure, that aid is a fraction of the subsidies we give to the companies who caused that damage. But what did you expect? When
to
we
focus
told you
on
we'd stand
prevention.
shoulder to shoulder with our Pacific family, we didn't mean against climate change. We meant at the canapé table at COP31. So come on, world. Let this major fossil fuel exporter that's cock-blocked climate action for decades co-host a crucial summit with the most climate vulnerable nations in the world while ignoring their pleas to stop harming them, just so we can look like climate leaders. It's not like we're asking you to let some petrostate human rights abuser host COP and have the boss of a huge oil company preside over it. Imagine that. Then the world would really be fucked. COP31. We can't wait to see you in Australia. Spirdalai. Kefe. Prima kasi kami bangsat.
Wow, amazing.
Authorised by the Department for orchestrating our glorious climate makeover and canapes.
And canapes. Wow. I mean, making my way downtown, we can't allow the inaction of one country, right, to prevent action on our part. So just because China isn't going to follow the United States, or vice versa, right? Because right now China is actually, beating the United States on climate. They're installing solar power generation plants all over the place, and they're trying to replace their entire energy with green energy because they see it as a benefit. And they're authoritarian dictatorship, so they can just do whatever the hell they want. No one's going to tell them to stop. There's no limitations there. Amount of neoliberals in the process of compulsory voting would just draw a dick on the ballot. Who through the process of compulsory voting? There's compulsory voting in Australia. I'm surprised to see such a conservative majority with the compulsory voting in place. The people here don't try hard enough to understand politics and make an educated decision. You get fined otherwise. Interesting. Well, that's interesting because I've always felt that compulsory voting would be a really good way to get progressivism, but I guess you need more than compulsory voting to get people to to actually change your government. That's interesting. And our voting is numbered 1 through, so you can prioritize some parties. It's ranked choice voting as well. I think it used to be Chem Goblin. Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong is famous for its smog issue. Wow, ranked choice, forced voting, and they still can't get progressives in there. Now, I know the conservatives, they lost the last election, but it was the neoliberal party that won, and they're trying to keep as many of these pro-oil policies in place, right? Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong is incredibly polluted, but what I mean, that's pathetic, right? That China is building more solar power plants than the United States. But they jumped on board with the Green Party as soon as the third major political party, soon to be a third major political party. Well, good for the Greens. I like to see alternatives succeed. So, hey, by the way, look, it's talking about presidential options here. Good news. President Camacho has time traveled from the future, 2140 something, in the year of Idiocracy, and has actually time traveled back to run for president in 2024, seeing that there's such a major problem that he wants to prevent it. So I think it's some great news. I'll be considering President Camacho, maybe over Biden. Seems like a pretty charismatic fella.
God damn! Shit is a mess, man. And nobody knows what to do.
But you do, Mr. President.
Oh, but it's okay, though. It's okay. You said it, baby. I know what to do. I got a plan. Listen, Camacho's got you. I am running for president some more in 2024.
Nice.
Oh, listen, y'all elect me, and I'm gonna fix y'all shit now. So shit is not fucked up in the future. Listen, man, you prehistoric monkey asses are focused on the wrong problem.
Watch out, Terry. Watch out, Terry. It's funny. He's because he's from the future, right? We're a bunch of monkeys. That's cute. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying China, doesn't have its own pollution problems, but I am saying that they have implemented more green solutions than the United States. I'm happy to be proven wrong on that. The last time I looked at the numbers, China was doing more for converting their, energy grid to green energy than the United States. But I would love to be proven wrong on that. So been saving this for the end of the stream here. I'm sure everyone has been seeing this on their news feed. Popular streamer Kai Cenat arrested after New York giveaway event turns chaotic. And yeah, I mean, if you don't know who this guy is, he's just one of those screaming guys. He sees a funny video and he lives. Speed, him and I Show Speed or whatever. Like, I don't know who they were living with when they got their start, but wherever they were living, they had to make an arrangement. Like, it's okay for you to literally scream your scream as loud as you humanly can at some, I don't know, monkey drinking his piss video or something, right? So look, if you act the fool enough, you can get enough 13-year-olds who think it's the coolest thing in the world to say fuck, right, and watch a video of a monkey drinking his piss. You can get millions of those teenagers, those preteens, to worship you. It's interesting because we've always seen, I mean, go all the way back to the Beatles, right? I mean, we've always seen kind of like teenage celebrity mania. And of course, young adults as well, 20-somethings, even older, getting tied up into this celebrity obsessed mania around certain figures. So it's not nothing new there, but I will say technology has allowed it to be far more spontaneous. So in this case here, Kai Cenat, I guess he was in New York. He just decided to tweet something or X something. I don't know what we're calling it, posting it now Why did he make it more generic? Anyway, so he decided to tweet something along the lines of, "Hey, I'm giving away a PS5, and come to New York Times Square in the next 10 minutes, and I'm giving away a PS5." So because he's an incredibly influential person amongst young people, and because the technology allows for it, he basically created a flash mob that got way out of control, and he ended up fleeing the scene with teenagers and Zoomers holding onto his van as he drove away. And I'll have footage of this I'll show you here. So I just wanted to give you a full rundown of the situation, but I also wanted to point out that it's not like a brand new phenomenon, but it is different. It is different for the for the new technological age that we live in, right? So, giveaway New York City rapidly spiraled out of control. According to NBC New York, Sinet had been promoting a huge giveaway on his channels for 4 p.m. ET. Okay, so it wasn't that spontaneous. With promises of a free PlayStation 5 and other gaming items, people began to populate in the area over an hour before the giveaway. Of course. I mean, he has like tens of millions of people on his social media, and tens of thousands of those are going to be New Yorkers. And anyone who is a young person is going to be like, "Oh, go," who's in New York, is like, they shared it. The whole school probably got hit up on it. So massive crowds, unruly behavior, Count Warren, blah blah blah. Sinet posted a brief video of the event where he and his crew spoke from inside a vehicle before exiting into the crowd, where they were quickly surrounded by people. Other videos posted to social media show the massive crowds, people swarming Sinet's vehicle, and Sinet being taken into police custody. So he was arrested, probably for starting a riot, right? Which is, I mean, that'll get you into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I remember when Anal Cunt did that. Anyone remember the band Anal Cunt? They basically caused a riot, and I think the lead singer was arrested for that. NBC reports that an estimated 1,000 police officers were called in to respond to the situation, and states that Sinet and numerous others were arrested. No significant injuries have been reported thus far. Videos posted on social media reveled the chaos. Ooh, that's really loud. But yeah, no, I mean, this is celebrity culture. It's like a toxic mix of celebrity and youth culture. And Kai Cenat definitely, like I said, like his bread and butter, the reason why he's so popular is that it's, that annoying kid in class that was really popular. Everyone really loved him, but he made like fart noises and he interrupted class, and that's why he was popular. Well, now that guy can turn into a 20-something and put a camera in front of his face. Keep that behavior up and get the attention of tens of millions of high schoolers that when they're not jerking off to pornography basically designed for 13-year-old minors, when they're not busy doing that, they like to hang out in these channels, XQC, Kai Cenat, Train Wrecks, right? Where they get their ignorant youth, because they're young and ignorant kind of worldview reflected back at them. And like the message is, don't grow up, just double down on this, on being a comic book character, I guess. Double down on that, because look, you can be an incredible success. You can be just like me, be a bombastic, annoying person who overreacts, to, like I said, monkeys drinking their own piss videos on because that's the bread and butter of these guys. That's the crazy thing. Go to their channel and watch their shit. It's literally like 80%. Okay, we're going to go on YouTube now. We're going to go watch funny YouTube videos, right? When they're not, I don't know, talking about some celebrity thing or talking about gambling or something else. But the bread and butter of these guys' content is literally just reacting to YouTube. It's literally it. But young people like it. Like I said, it reflects their worldview. And you either have it or you don't. You can't fake it, right? Like if I tried to be like, hey kids, you can't fake it. You have to be in that irresponsible mindset. You have to be one of those, peaked in high school and never learned any better 20-somethings that kind of succeed at this, because you have to mean it. You have to have that juvenile mentality, and it has to be genuine, or else they'll see right through it. Kids have a pretty good bullshit detector. So I wanted to show this video just to, it's totally inexcusable. And, I don't know. I guess there's probably some commentators saying it's a sign of the times. Like I said, I mean, I think the technology makes it worse, but I don't know. This is just celebrity culture right here. The destruction is, I mean, because like, look, they, one kid does it, another, oh, that's cool, oh, that's neat. Then another kid escalates, right? And then all of a sudden you got a group of kids like knocking over a hot dog stand. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to climb on the lamp posts and stuff. I mean, if you, as an adult, it's interesting, as an adult, when you watch his content, you're just like, you get it, you understand, because you're like, children are impressionable. Young adults, preteens, teens are very impressionable. And if there's an adult that is, like I said, reflecting their worldview, which is, they're very young, they haven't experienced the world, but they see an adult, saying what they're saying, acting the way that they act, dressing the way that they dress, and they're like, I have it figured out. Look, he's a success. He's grown up. And look, he's basically just like me already, right? He's one of the cool ones. You can when you're an adult, you can see another adult acting like that. It's kind of weird. When you're a fellow adult, you're like, oh, aren't you pushing 30? Why are you saying lit? Why are you saying lit? No, I'm not. I'm not cool. I'm pushing 40. I'm not fucking cool. Okay? I don't get to say based and get away with it, no matter how many times Kyle Kulinski does it. But no, when you're an adult, when you see other adults acting childish to get the attention of children, it's a little cringe. It's a little cringe. Well, thank you, Chem Goblin. Thank you. Thank you. Not as cool as Kai over here.
PlayStation, PS5, so meet and greet for famous people that game. So gamers, they're famous on Twitch.
We didn't get to the PS5. I don't think they even got the chance to even announce it. They just got arrested. We were just sitting there.
And like I said, man, the meat and potatoes of these guys, their content is literally react content. Watching funny videos on YouTube. It's not about the content. It's kind of the exact opposite of what I'm doing here, which is it's not about the information. It's about the relationship. It's a parasocial relationship. Right? He's your buddy. He's your friend. He's the cool adult. He'll buy you booze and and he's, and he'll hit on your high school girlfriend. When you're an adult and you see another adult act like a child to get children's attention, it's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing. It's like act your age a little bit, man. But it's so lucrative. Look, a lot of women make a lot of money on Twitch providing masturbation material for preteens and young adults, right? They don't show their nipples, but they're very sexual and right? It's like softcore porn, basically, right? But it's really directed towards the Twitch crowd, young adult crowd. This is the other side of that coin. When you're intentionally attracting young adult and the teenage mentality and trying to speak to that, right, and reflect that. But yeah, guys, you know, I know your friends thought it was cool to break that car window, but it's actually still a crime. So I hope every one of these criminals, you know, gets taken to jail, and hopefully they learned a lesson. Crying to mommy. But I mean, when you get a crowd of anybody, kids, teenagers, you know, how many sports riots do we have every year in the United States, right? Some stupid fucking sports team loses a championship and they go take it out on the town, right? Those are fully grown adults. They don't know what a Kai Cenat is. They don't watch Twitch, but they're smashing car windows and, you know, and fucking shit up and breaking shit because they got all worked up for something that matters to them. It's a human thing. It's a human thing. Humans, when they get into crowds, they get unpredictable like this. Human beings do this when they get into crowds. And you know what's funny? All this is going to do is help his career. He's going to be bragging about this for the rest of his life. Oh, I caused a riot. Oh, whoa. You know, this is going to be nothing but a feather in his cap, and his view count is going to go through the roof. So, I mean, what are we going to do? This behavior is going to be rewarded positively. He is going to receive a positive reward for this behavior. I think though, in the future, he will probably not do ad hoc events. He will do properly planned events with proper security, so that, because he's going to have to pay a lot of fines. It's going to affect his bottom line. It's going to take money out of his pocket. So that's where he's going to give a shit. So if anything, hopefully this means he will run events in a safe manner, so that he's not putting people in danger, right, and causing riots. So here's just, the other story that's coming out of this is the police department shoved some kid's head through a window. It might be one of those situations where our eyes might be deceiving us, because it might be one of those where it looks worse than what it is, but it looks pretty bad. And I am going to show it here. Because the kid is fine. He wasn't, just a little bump on his head there. But so these kids here are hitting on the van. I don't know what this kid was doing. He's clearly, he's not leaving, right? But I don't think he technically hit the van. That doesn't really matter though. There are cops inside of this taxi. So the people that hit the van and the cops coming out here, they bailed. This kid's just standing here. Whoops. Don't do that, kid. And then watch what happens here. They basically, it looks like they shove his head through the rear window here, shattering the window, like right out of a movie. Right. Man, how embarrassing is it to get arrested at the Kai Cenat riot? How embarrassing are you as an individual getting arrested for a Twitch streamer that does not fucking care about you, dude? He's not even, I mean, Kai Cenat is one of those streamers. He's so big, he doesn't even say thank you for the money donations anymore. Right? Because that would be his whole stream. It would just be him saying thank you, Fart Sniffer, thank you, Fart Sniffer 69, thank you so much for the money. People just giving him money so their little name appears on his stream, like right? Some little name up in the corner or something, you know, little thing, little puppy pops up like for Hassan, right? Little puppy pops up. Thanks for giving a millionaire more money. Okay, bye. The millionaire thanks you for your hard-earned money. Bye. I mean, how embarrassing is this, man? He's all crying. Yeah, mama's not going to be happy. Mama's not going to be happy. Oh. So, wanted to show this tweet or X thing, whatever we're calling them now, because I feel like it's I don't know. You tell me if this is fair or not, but see if I can get this blown up for you a little bit here so you can read it. So yeah, he's talking about the video that we just watched here. Number one, the police appear to have thought that the kid was trying to break the windshield, but it appears rear window, by the way. Everyone in the comment section was giving him shit for this. Rear window, but it appears that they got the wrong kid. Two individuals before him were hitting the windshield to try and break it. Honestly, though, I mean, come on. I mean, dude is like, he's like right there, and he's having a good time. He's having a good time. Maybe he didn't hit it, but okay. All right. Come on. All right. I'm not buying this. Oh. Okay. Okay, homie. If you zoom in and slow the video down, it appears that the first thing to hit the windshield was the officer's right hand, meaning the glass likely didn't break from the kid's face hitting it. So this is really hard because it's like perfect timing. Like someone walks by at just that moment of impact, right? Someone like literally gets in frame. But I think that's true. If you look at the trajectory here. He's right, hand right there, right there. The glass is already shattered right there. No, because I mean, and there was a wound on his face. No, his head is hitting that rear window first, and then his hand is going through the glass that's already shattered, right? Because we see here, look at right here, this back of the neck right here. You can already see the glass shattered. Boom, and his head is hitting it first, and then the guy's hand just kind of touches the glass, doesn't even really go through. No, it's definitely, and then of course we see, I guess this video doesn't show it, but we do see that he does have an injury on his face, probably from glass cutting it. It looks like that, you know, from my layman opinion. So I would disagree here. I don't think it is the officer's right hand hitting it. So they're also saying that maybe the glass was already cracked because of the teenagers that were hitting it, that it was like cracked. Maybe that's what they're reacting to. The glass was like cracking. They're like, oh, we broke something. Oh, we're children. Yeah, you are children. Yeah. So maybe that's the case. It's really hard to tell. This video, it's really hard to tell. He says that he thinks that the police did something wrong. I think, yeah, I don't know. I've seen worse. I'm not here to defend the fucking cops. You know me. I think it is violence, right? But I have seen a lot worse. I need to see a better video. Look at all these fucking videos, okay? Look at all these people with the cell phone. You're telling me no one else caught a different angle of this, right? I just want to see a different angle before I'm 100%, right? I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses for the cop here. I think, of course, they go too far. They didn't even grab the right guy. It doesn't even matter, right, to them. And that matters to me that it doesn't matter to them. But I have seen worse. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I have seen worse. Man, perfect timing on this asshole, right? Bro, could you have just picked a worse time to walk by this? Fuck you, dude. God, so hard. I'm pretty sure his face is shattering that glass. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, so this is just another last little video here. This is apparently the van that Kai Cenat was inside when he decided to leave the premises, when he decided to get out of there. Making my way downtown, I asked for 2 pages. I didn't ask for you to spam my Discord with a bunch of links. I want a 2-page summary of your grand theory. Okay? Let's go. I just wanted to show you here. So right here is the vehicle leaving, you know, hounded with a bunch of teenagers. And this is why, look, they're obsessed with celebrity, right? He's the coolest dude in their school, right? He's the Bart Simpson of their generation. Okay? They are obsessed with him. If he even looks at them, they will brag to their friends. Bro, Kai Cenat looked at me, dude. He looked at me. No, don't spam my politics section with a bunch of fucking links. I wanted a 2-page report. If you can't squeeze your idea into 2 fucking pages, I'm not taking the time, dude. Holy shit. But anyway, I'm not making excuses for Kai here, because what this is a lack of planning. This is him going cheap. He didn't want to spend the money on security and buying a venue, and he wanted to do something simple and viral. Well, you're too big of a celebrity, Kai. You're too big of a fucking celebrity, and wherever you go, you cause a riot. Okay? Because people are obsessed with you, because people don't, are unfortunately very mediocre sometimes, and they supplant their personality with the celebrities. Right? They're very mediocre sometimes, individuals. Because people are like, oh, I met a celebrity. Who fucking cares? He doesn't, I mean, I get it. It's kind of like, it's like a novelty, right? But there are people who are, it's like the most important moment of their life, right? The most important moment of their life is interacting with a celebrity. And look at this shit, man. Get off the vehicle. Wow. Yeah, there goes one. Wow. So there you go. That's the Kai Cenat story. He'll be arrested. He's gonna receive a massive bump in views. He's gonna get a ton of donations. He's gonna be the coolest. Oh, bro, you caused a riot. So cool, so based. I mean, we saw this in the 80s. Remember, Woke Patriot. Remember all the bad boys from the 80s wrecking their hotel rooms, right? Same shit. They're going to be rewarded for it. Society likes clowns, right? Wanted to show this because it's the anniversary of, one of the largest explosions known, ever seen. Davey actually brought this up a couple weeks ago, and we showed it here because he was like, oh, that's not a big explosion. This is an explosion. And I think, it's just how close this explosion was to, apartment buildings and, to the dock here. Just so incredibly devastating. It's, it really is shocking. It's horrific. So this is a compilation because this was like filmed from so many different angles. If you don't know what happened, it was some chemicals that, so this is actually considered one of the most powerful artificial non-nuclear explosions in history. It was some chemical, something that was being stored, and it got too hot. It naturally gets hot on its own, catastrophic chain reaction caused this massive explosion of this warehouse of chemicals that was being illegally stored at the harbor. And yeah, this is what it looked like. There it is. Wow. This guy, wow, dude. This shows you just how far away the explosion was. Watch this. I'm sure somebody could do the math on this, but I mean, this guy, you know, so here's the explosion. How many miles away is this guy standing? So he sees it. He sees the blast wave, the pressure wave here. And there it hits. That's when the sound wave hits. Pretty wild stuff. This one's terrible. This guy, I don't know if this guy survived. I mean, look at this. Building disintegrates in front of him. That's the crazy part right there. Like a Michael Bay movie, dude. The building just disintegrates in front of him. You know, before God knows what happens to him. This is the most cinematic one, though. This guy is on his ski-doo out in the middle of the ocean here.
Salva, salva, no te.
Damn! Damn, they were on a roof, like a party on the roof. Whoa. Wow. And just another one. I don't know if this person survived, but you see that pressure wave hitting these buildings, and that'll just kill you right there. You'll just drop dead right there. But look at that, all the dust, everything. I mean, all the windows getting blown out. These are residences. You know, and really, I mean, this is the result of government corruption. This is what it looks like when you let your government get away with, no checks and balances, and and get away with political corruption. This is the end result, right? Someone bribed a guy that bribed a guy that bribed a guy, and all of a sudden these chemicals. Well, I don't know. We'll deal with it later.
Yeah, Latif. Good, good, good.
Yeah, he had the right idea. Yeah. You should do what he just did, Chem Goblin. Yeah, ammonium nitrate. Yeah, its main use is for agriculture as fertilizer, then less use for explosive to destroy building during demolitions. Yeah, I think that was the same fertilizer that Timothy McVeigh used to bomb the federal building, if I recall correctly. Right? He used a fertilizer bomb. Ooh, dude, Jesus, bro, the fucking glass, the reaction. First of all, the reaction to the fucking explosion. You hear the women crying, and then the fucking glass. Dude. Boy, I hope those people got out of there. That is terrible. That is terrible shit. Look, man, the lesson that we need to learn from this, like I said, is that we need, this is, people get hurt and killed because of political corruption. And we do need to be aware of it and stamp it out. Because I guarantee you this was a bunch of bribes, right? This was a bunch of like, oh, you're not allowed to store this stuff for that long in this location. You got to get this away from public areas. Here, here's $100 or whatever. I guarantee you it was political corruption that kept these dangerous materials, together for that long. Apparently it was there for years. Apparently that shit was left there for years. All right, folks. You know why you're here. Everyone's number one favorite segment on the U.S. portion of the News Underground. It is The mass shooting update. Brought to you, of course, by Garbage Fuel. Garbage Fuel's #1 drink mix company in the world. Garbage Fuel. Drink Garbage Fuel today. Garbage Fuel. All right, folks, let's see how many people died in the United States because they refused to change gun laws. We have 488 U.S. mass shootings in 2023, 5,623 mass shootings since 2013. One whole day since the last mass shooting. There you go, folks. That's your good guy with a gun guarantee. Good guy with a gun guarantee. Thank you so much, good guy with a gun, for that 1 day of peace. Let's go ahead and see the details over there in Rochester, New York. 1 dead, 4 injured, gunman unknown. I'd like to note that less than 50% of the murders are actually solved in the United States. Go ahead and look up your local solved murder rate at your local town or city and see how safe you are. Over there in Los Angeles, California, 0 dead and 4 injured, gunman unknown. Chicago, Illinois, 1 dead and 3 injured, juvenile victim. 2-year-old child among the wounded, gunman unknown. Sorry, I just got a little nauseous there reading that information. Over there in Columbus, Missouri, 0 dead and 4 injured, gunman unknown. And Springfield, Massachusetts, 0 dead and 4 injured, juvenile victims. All 4 victims were juvenile teens, gunman unknown. Well, let's hope that those guns were bought legally by those juvenile teens. Thank you so much. This has been your Garbage Fuel mass shooting update. Thank you so much, Garbage Fuel, for sponsoring America's #1 segment, Mass Shooting Update. Personally, I would like to thank the good guys with the gun for this 1 whole day apiece. I know I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Thank you so much, good guys with guns. All right, and that's all I have today, YouTube, on the United States. We're going to jump into our Ukraine update. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good time. Yeah.